Welcome to Lunch Therapy. I'm your host, Joel Marshall. This is a break, and I think this is a kind of a much-needed break from the water torture of watching votes trickle in. This is a place where we take a break from all of that. There's gonna be no big board where I show you different states and different colors of red and blue and purple. I won't be doing any of that here. So take a breather. Let's get into lunch therapy. I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 Oh, that was weird. Yeah, it's probably because I was out running. I wasn't at the control panel. I just got to get just a few more laps in. But I'm glad you're here because, we got to get away from the craziness that's going on. It's been a crazy week. I don't know about y'all, but I have been losing it. And I notice, I wonder what all the talk shows are going to talk about if this election goes the way that it's going. I'm thinking that a lot of them are starting to do some lunch therapy things. I noticed Stephen Colbert had some bunnies on his show, and Stephen, it's cool. There's a lot of room in this space, so come on in. I'm glad to see people here. I'm gonna just walk backwards for a little while because I know this path so well. It's beautiful out here. Let's see who's here. No big board. Yeah, there's gonna be no big board. There's gonna be no khakis. Nobody wearing khakis. There will be a little bit of mayhem and a lot of wombats today. Janelle is here. Holy. Yes, fuck that crap. That's the way I feel right now, too, because it's been, in India, they have this thing where they drip oil on your head. You lay on this wooden table, and they drip oil on your head, and it just keeps dripping. And for some people, it's beautiful. They have this, meditative experience, and everything is, revealed to them somehow in this constant dripping on the head. But me, it makes me nuts. It makes me crazy. I'm just like, I got to get off this table. And that's the way I feel about the election results trickling in. It's crazy. Happy Friday. Like the blue shirt. It's nice, isn't it? Lunch therapy shirt. These are available on my website, joelmarshall.com, in many multiple colors. So many colors, that every one that you can think of. Ben McKnights is here. Happy Saturday morning, because he's in Australia. It's great to see you. I hope Moose is doing well, his cat. We all wish it were Saturday, Ben. Saturday. I love Saturdays. Unfortunately, it is an endless torture. I would say like a Chinese water torture, but it is classically American torture. That's a good point. I was thinking I was going to say Chinese voting torture, but it's really American voting torture. Any different results where you are, Ben? I don't know. I doubt their TVs are lit up with this stuff all the time. Let's, speaking of Todd Lee, we're going to take a look at some of his elk. Todd lives in this beautiful place where there's a gajillion elk. And he sent me a little, it's almost like a live cam, this thing. So yeah, I put Todd's name up there in the corner because he's provided this beautiful elk experience. And I'm going to provide a breathing experience right now to go along with the elk. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Today on the show, there is a lot to get to. The Bat is coming on. He's going to talk about something briefly. Biden has moved into the White House already here. Wow. That's some future Saturday. I don't think that's even just tomorrow. Ben is in the future. That's so cool. It's very elegant. Yes, it is. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. So the Bat is going to be on today. There's no interview Friday today, although I'm going to have a little bit of an experience. I have this little snippet of old Petrassic from earlier on in the week. Yeah, so I'm going to show you some of the comedian that we had early on in the week. Hilarious guy, Mr. Petrassic. I am just saying his name over and over again because I learned how to say it. So that's cool. So Brian Petrassic, he's a hilarious comedian from California. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. And let it go. And this time we're going to see his dog, Star. So we've got that to look forward to. We also have some wombats. And we're going to explore the topic of the day, which is my internet doing my thinking for me? Which is, a good one. Jurassic Petrassic. Yeah, he's going to be back. We're going to have a little bit of his stand-up, too. And I'm going to, hit the old panda room to talk about whether the internet is doing our thinking for us. So let's jump into this thing. First, we're going to hear from the Bat. Hello, I am the Bat, and I am here to talk about what they're calling a Bionic Flying Fox. It's funny because it doesn't really look like a fox, does it? Looks a lot like a bat? Is that what it could be looking like? Is that a bat? Looks like a bat to me, not a fox. But, they're calling it a Bionic Flying Fox. Just goes to show you they're so afraid of bats. They think if they call it a bat and it looks like a bat, they'll not be able to sell it or something like that. If it flies like a bat and walks like a bat and looks like a bat, then of course, what is it? It's a fox. Ridiculous. If they're going to replace us, they should at least call us by the same name. That looks like an albino bat to me. I used to have a friend who was an albino bat. He wasn't quite as cute as that one, though. Look at that cute little bat face. That's so cute. Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. My friend who was an albino bat, he was not very cute at all. And he ate way too much fruit, so he was so fat, he could not even fly. He was probably closer to being a fox on the ground, crawling around, unable to fly. But the thing is, this is a German company called Festo, and they make animals that are mechanical, and we'll be talking about some mechanical animals today, so it will be very interesting to see about these things. I mean, maybe some of you are thinking, well, they're German, so they probably call these flying foxes instead of bats, but no. Everyone knows they call them their Fledermaus, which means flying mouse. I've seen the opera, I know. I've seen it like 25 times. I don't know. I've seen it so many times I can't even remember. I saw a wonderful production of it in Warsaw, Poland. And it was just, I love that. Love that opera so much. So there you go, festo.com, Bionic Flying Fox. They're not sponsoring the show. But, look at that. They make all kinds of things. We're going to look into it today on Lunch Therapy. Thank you for joining us. This is Lunch Therapy. Thank you very much, Bat. It's always good to have the Bat on the show because he's, a little bit deranged, I think. Deranged might be the word. This is a very relaxing thing that I can only show for 2 seconds because it's from the Meditated Mind. It's something called the Meditative Mind, which is just a beautiful place to go and meditate if you ever need that. I have provided that for you now. But I want to get to the roller coaster, of course, because I've got a weird thing about roller coasters. This is a wonderful roller coaster called Yukon Striker. It's at Canada's Wonderland. So, we're going to watch that. I wanted to say that Jose said that he has, I'm going to get myself a modem going through his head, and I think that is a beautiful thing because it shows you the power of a good jingle. Good jingle. And we should all have modems, and many of us do. And this is the part where Ganell, if he was riding this thing, would be going, because he makes that weird sound when he goes up the hill. This is one of the reasons that I wanted to show you this roller coaster is because it has the coolest drop I have seen yet, and we're about to hit that. This is the part where we think everything's cool, and they're not going to drop us ridiculously far down into a hole, but they are going to. Here we go. Here we go. I like the way it stops for a second. I love that. You'd think that was not even real. Hopefully this is not giving anybody vertigo. Todd. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next thing. Next thing is birds, because I wanted to show you some birds because this is the cult of the hummingbird. This is a live bird feeder in Ohio. That happens. That sound. Oh, the sound happens when he goes down the hill. Not. I thought it was only going up the hill. I don't know. I got to keep track of my hummingbirds out there and their weird mental problems. Because I'm not a therapist, not a licensed therapist, but I am here to provide you with mental stability. That's one of the things we're going to be talking to Brian Petrassic about today. Mental stability. Look at that bird. That's happening right now. That bird it's got looks like a blue beak. I don't know anything about birds, but I've got some information about birds coming up that is going to shock you. Shock you. I hate to be shocking, but I think it's necessary sometimes.
Who would ever have thought of
Okay,
wombat
now we're on to the
and
wombat
Peru
segment.
would be such a cow.
I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit here and play some fun music so we can watch some wombats and dance. This is a wombat who's friends with a kangaroo, a baby wombat and a baby kangaroo. This is on the Dodo channel. This is one of my favorite channels on YouTube. You should subscribe because it's so, it's always got fantastic stories, oftentimes with little baby animals. This is a baby wombat and a baby kangaroo. Who even knew? I mean, I suppose probably Ben McKnights knows about wombats and kangaroos because they're just all over the place where he lives. I'm sure they're just, on the street, they're like, get these wombats out of here. What the heck? Why are there so many kangaroos? Get off of my leg. I'm sure that's what it's like. I'm going to get me a wombat. I'm going to get myself a wombat. I am. They're so cute. I have more videos of wombats that are going to be coming up. Ben loves wombat. I love wombat. Oh, he loves to eat wombat. Do they eat wombats? I hope not. I hope not. Cool. Anyway, let's see what else we have in the wombat world. Here's one just running. This is so much better than watching that guy with the map, I'll tell you. Look at that big old guy. It was like huge. The memory is a funny thing. Interesting. Memory is a funny thing, of course. That was over 30 years ago when we went down that roller coaster. Excuse me, yes. Ganell and I traveled traveled to Southern California in college. Drove down in a car. I think I'll tell that story sometime. But yes, he did make that sound. I don't think you can help it either. I really don't. Another wombat. What is a wombat? It's a good question. Ben McKnights maybe could tell us more about wombats. Maybe we can get a remote report next week from Ben about wombats, like a news report. That'd be good. Let's see. No, not eat. They're huge and have a massive body. Well, yeah, that's why I would think they'd be good for eating, right? Is it a little bear, like a capybara? Are they related to capybaras? I don't know. I always, didn't even know if wombats were... I really didn't know what they were. They were bats. They're apparently not bats. Yeah, I'm going to tell that story. The road trip story. Look at this. This is another little baby wombat that is from a rescue. It's a cute Australian orphan baby wombat. And there he is. One time I found an iguana, a baby iguana, or not a baby. It was tiny iguana. Named him Steve, and I had to feed him all the time through a syringe because he couldn't digest things very well. So I had to feed him cat food through a syringe. And Steve, I grew to love Steve. Somebody had left him in a parking garage. This cute little lizard, and I had to take care of him. It's hard to take care of lizards, I'll tell you. It was really hard. Look at that cute thing. Basically, they're marsupial, and I'll have to Wikipedia the rest. That's good. All right. I'm going to have a more fun song. You can kiss them. I don't know. They don't seem that dangerous, do they? We always want to own animals, don't we? But sometimes I don't know if they can be owned. Let's see what else we got. Oh, this is Sai Baba. I just wanted to mention Sai Baba because we were talking about him the other day. I'll do a little bit longer thing on him. Wombat is on the current menu at the White House. It's just one of the things that will be changing. I'm sure they're eating wombat. So here, this is Sai Baba, the guy that we were talking about. He was a guru in India, and this is him materializing a necklace for someone. Yeah, wombats are super cute. They're adorable. Yeah. No, they're not dangerous. So there he is. He just materialized a necklace for this woman. I don't know. We're going to have to investigate that. Very interesting fellow. That is Sai Baba. Keep that in the back of your head for another time. This is Rick Steves. Yeah, this is one of Rick Steves' songs. Rick Steves is a travel person who used to be our piano teacher. Yep. Both me and Matt. This is Smart Bird by Festo. This is something that apparently they're not only replacing humans, they're replacing animals as well because, we need some replacement animals. I don't know what they're doing with these, but I now want to jump. I want to jump over to this site, and maybe I'll turn this Rick Steves music off. Maybe I'll deal with this because it's a sad tale. So got some sad music on here. Dude looks like a Chihuly. Don't get me started on the Chihuly. The Chihuly. We'll have to talk about Chihuly sometime. So this is a site. It's called Birds Aren't Real. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a movement out there called Birds Aren't Real. And I know this show is moving along fast. Military. Oh, yeah, the birds, the military. Well, according to Birds Aren't Real, all birds are fake. Yeah, ever since maybe the early 70s or something like that. Birds aren't real. Who are we? Let's just see here. Okay, so there's a banned television advertisement from the movement of 1987. This is something that I'll show you, which is quite good. Let's see if I can get this. I gotta get
Up in the morning, I
Okay, hold
consider
on, I gotta-
myself to be an average American. I wake up in the morning, wash my car, and I have an avid disbelief in avian beings.
Maybe you've seen the billboard near the Highland Strip or heard
This is crazy.
the story on Wednesdays live at 9.
I had no idea birds weren't real.
Birds are not real brings us
Anybody?
efforts to the Mid-South.
And this morning we are joined by one of the messengers of the movement. Peter McIndoe is here to tell us how this all came about. We want to emphasize you were not the founder.
This guy is so...
We put the billboard here because we wanted to bring it to the biggest city in the world, you know, the Paris of the West. So we brought it to Memphis, Tennessee.
From 1959 through 2001, the government mercilessly genocided over 12 billion birds and simultaneously replaced them with surveillance drones in disguise.
Who knew,
Sometimes
right?
I'll travel internationally, go to the Himalayas, just to breathe the drone-free air.
So this is really satire. I mean, you don't really believe that that happened, correct? This is a satirical campaign to make the point
I like this
that what? You're looking at me like, no, it's not satire. I really do
I
believe
love this.
this.
This is so Myth Club.
Honestly, it's kind of offensive.
Okay.
We do not find this to be a humorous
Honestly, it's
issue.
kind of
This
offensive.
is serious. This is life or death.
This movement came about in 1976,
It's a media point. I think it is.
just to
too.
avoid any, liberal media
hilarious.
hit job.
Since the billboard went up in Memphis, crime has actually dropped by 43%.
Obviously.
We're expecting the key to the city at any time.
I think this guy's
from the mayor.
hilarious.
There's been
They had the
a
whole
reaction
website and the
of
whole movement.
supporters and loyal
I guess it
bird
was a big
truthers
2020
coming out,
campaign. They were running for
saluting,
president.
bowing. It's almost become like a sacred pilgrimage.
This billboard means more to me than my own life.
All right, Peter, we appreciate you being with us this morning.
All right,
Thank you
moving
very
along.
much.
All right.
Birdsaren'treal.com.
So there you have it. Just for those of you who are wondering whether birds are real or not, they're not. They're just totally surveillance. Clearly they've bypassed. The robotic bird that we saw seems nothing compared to the ones that we see just on a daily basis, right? Todd says birds are fake. Dinosaurs are fake. Thus, dinosaurs are fake. The Earth is flat, and there are children in captivity in the basement of the White House. Just another change coming. This is a great segue into the Trash Panda Comedy Club. I'll tell you. Find that guy. Yeah, we gotta interview that guy. He's got to be on the show. I gotta find him. You're right. We're gonna find him. I know this is so Myth Club. I just I love it. And sometimes he's very believable. Other times it's kind of absurd. Luckily you won't have to smell him. Yeah, I like the way he kind of looks. He looks I don't know, like a. Oh, I've got loud music. He looks a little like a crazy person. Just a little. And he's been cultivating that look, I think. Yeah, we got to get him on. Now there's a cult leader for you. And yeah, apparently he was running for president. None of us knew that. Pizzagate 2.0. So I want to get into the old Panda comedy room now. Well, we're in a good mood. So there you go, Trash Panda Comedy Club. Here we are. Let's get some applause going. Yeah. Thank you, Joel Marshall. I'm here today to talk to you about the internet, and is the internet doing our thinking for us? I don't know. I personally think this society, it's making society better, the internet. It is, at least for capybaras, I think that, it's been a lot better. For cats, certainly cats. For twerkers, for red pandas. But everybody else is completely screwed. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, there was some mystery to the world. There was a lot of mystery. And I remember we used to listen to this album that we found, and it was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Me and a friend, we were like in, I don't know, second, third grade, and we're looking at this album and listening to this music and trying to decipher what this is. And all we had to go on was the album and the album cover. And, and then my friend was really into the Rolling Stones, and we had like, an album cover that said like Sticky Fingers. And it was just, what is going on? We'd listen to it. Sometimes we'd play the album backwards, just trying to figure it out, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And now you just look it up on the internet, and there they'd be talking about the whole thing. And I think it kind of ruins the mystique, the mystery of things. But also, there's more mystery because there's all this information coming at us. We were, speaking of Pizzagate, Camel and I were hanging out with some 20-year-olds. A lot of times they have their brains maybe aren't fully formed. They do things like they'll have like an iPhone, and they'll put a case on it that is like super big. It'll be like a big cat or something. And it'll be just giant. Their iPhone will be giant, and they'll walk around with that. And you're like, why would you do? Why did you just make it bigger? Why don't you just carry a computer around? So like a lot of times they're not thinking, quite straight. But they've got to learn critical thinking, right? I think that's the thing, is we've got to learn critical thinking. And they started talking to us about this Pizzagate thing, and we're like, and they were intelligent people. Supposedly, but all of a sudden they started talking about Pizzagate. They were talking about a pizza restaurant and like Hillary Clinton and like selling kids or something, some horrible, horrible thing. And Camel and I were like, yeah, okay. We're going to go hit the bathroom. So we, is it down the hall? And we went down the hall and, climbed out the little window in the bathroom, got the hell out of there. I mean, they were, drunk 20-year-olds. So they probably didn't even notice. But yeah, so it's spreading all this information and separating us. Obviously, the internet seems to be separating us, because now we'll be talking to somebody who, normally we have rational conversations. And this is not just 20-year-old kids. Normally we have, sort of rational conversation. All of a sudden you realize, wow, we really disagree on something in like a huge, huge way. And I can only blame the internet, right? Or all the information that we're getting and how we're getting it. I think how we're getting it is important, because we have to be informed about this stuff. You have to be informed so that we can make critical choices on, is this, is Pizzagate a real thing? Are birds real? Gender hieroglyphics, RHPS. And I don't know what that means. But so this is an example. My wife, she won't go on Facebook. She's like, I don't want to go on Facebook, because then you give all your information to these people, and then they go through it and they figure out how to use it against you. Or they sell it off and they try and use it against you. And so what happens is you are getting information, but you're getting the information that they know you're going to click on. But one day she says to me, that really popular store, it's just everywhere, the Pot and the Kettle, they sell, floral curtains. Everybody, knows about it because it's everywhere. And I was like, I'd never heard of Pot and the Kettle curtains. Let me take a look. And I go over to her computer, and I mean, on every web page, they're advertising Pot and the Kettle curtains. And I realize, she probably went to the website looking for these curtains and then didn't buy them. And then they just came at her with all these ads. And so a lot of us don't even realize this is happening to us, clearly, right? We don't even realize it. So we think, this is a super, super famous store, and it's not at all. And we have to understand how the mechanism works, even if we're not on Facebook. So even if we're not on Facebook, they're still collecting all of our information and then trying to sell us stuff, essentially just trying to sell us stuff. So we watched this movie. There's this movie out. It's on Netflix. It's called The Social Dilemma. I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's pretty interesting. But I do find it a little strange, because they've got all these technologists talking to us. And as you know, technologists, and they're like people that made tons of money working for Google or Facebook or whatever. They made tons of money. And now they've decided that they're going to have their money, and they're not going to have their kids look at Facebook or any of these things that they built. and they're just gonna, they're totally healthy kids. And now they're just telling us about it, like, you guys are all screwed, because, we have to use this stuff because we have to market ourselves. It's not, they say it's like some evil force that's coming at you to try and market these things to you, but then we have to use those same tools to market to one another too. So, and also this movie is oversimplistic, I think, because it defines things for us like an algorithm. Like, algorithm is a word that people throw around. They have no idea what it means. People have no idea. They're just algorithm. It's like the word irony. Everybody throws it around, but I always have to look it up. What is it again? What is irony again? Or I have to ask the chat room. I don't know. What's an algorithm? I don't know. I'm a computer guy. It's like a program, I guess. But most people, I bet if you took a survey in the United States and said, where is the cloud? Where is your data when it's stored in the cloud? Where is it? Most people would say, well, it's up in the sky. I bet you it's like 80% of the people would say that. It's up in the sky. But of course, we know it's actually at the Earth's molten core. And Bill Gates has an elevator that he goes down there. He goes down there just to check on it sometimes, but also because he likes to read, and it's just a good place to read, a nice private place to read. Let's see what the social networking of our social chat room has to say. I was trying to actually just stay on topic and not look at the chat room, and now I'm going to take a look here. The internet is merely a conduit, a sewer pipe. Social media is the effluent that flows through there. Interesting. This is now happening to me constantly. Yes, where you think something is famous and it's not, or you think something everybody knows about it. Watch Social Dilemma. It's pretty darn interesting. Whatever I look at is suddenly overwhelming my computer. You're being programmed. Yeah, we were talking about commercials. But this is the same principle as it is commercials, essentially. But now it's kind of bled over into the other things that we're doing, so we have to be able to discern. I remember when I was in elementary school, they showed us ads, and they said, look at this magazine ad. If you look at the ice cubes, there is a skull in there. And they're trying to intrigue you, much the same way the album cover was trying to intrigue me. They're trying to intrigue you into some kind of subliminal message, trying to sell like liquor or something. So later on, you're an alcoholic. You have no idea why. It's because they had a little skull in the ice cube. So they have to teach us this. So maybe we grew up and didn't go to school, at the time when this was, matured. So maybe in school they're teaching kids this. I don't know. I hope so. Jeff Lohman, are you out there? Jeff Lohman, all our teachers out there, are you teaching kids this? Because you have to be able to discern this stuff from, the actual truth. They had an actor, so they're trying to explain it to us in this movie, and I'm sure this movie was targeted towards like people my age and older or something, because those are the people who are sitting around watching Netflix documentaries. And it was a documentary, but it also had these dramatizations that were really cheese bag. And one of the dramatizations was they had an actor play three characters. It was an actor from Mad Men, I think. And he's playing three characters. He's playing the algorithm. And he's in this room, and they're looking at a three-dimensional version of this kid, and they're trying to figure out how to manipulate him and have him do what they want him to do. And, I'm pretty certain that the actor doesn't know what an algorithm is, and the filmmakers, I don't think, really know what an algorithm is, and I definitely think the viewers of the movie have no idea what an algorithm is, because if you look at that and it's just a total metaphor, I'm sure the same people that would say, hey, my data's up in the sky, they also would say, there's three guys that look exactly the same trying to manipulate me all day. When actually, it's kind of us. Like Todd was saying, it's the conduit. We are trying to, sell our services or sell our products. Clouds are fake. And everybody knows clouds are fake and birds are fake. And Kamala says a literary technique originally used in Greek tragedy by which the full significance of a character's words or actions are clear to the audience or reader, although unknown to the character. That's really interesting, because we were talking about that with comedy the other day, that a comedian oftentimes has a blind spot. Like, like this particular situation, I'm telling you about the internet, and my blind spot might be that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Irony, yes, that was irony. RHPS is an abbreviation for Rocky Horror Picture Show. See, that's the real hardcores that know that. You really seem like Jesus just then. The movie Ted 2 has a hilarious bit about this. Every time they search Google for something, no matter what, the first thing that comes up is big cocks. Well, it's true. Like, and people don't even realize that that's happening. And so that's where we end up with this crazy world where we're like, what the hell is going on? And which of us, and do you ever ask yourself, am I the insane one? Am I partially insane? Because, you know, one of the things that we all really want to be is right. You know, and I think that a lot of times these conspiracy theories, now I'm going into the whole idea of a conspiracy theory, but I think the reason people are drawn to conspiracy theories is because they can now be right. And there's a certain kind of feeling of like, oh, I'm right, and you don't know what you're talking about because I have gone down the rabbit hole of, you know, whatever, Pizzagate or whatever it is. Birds aren't real. And as we see, there's humor out on the internet. And some of it is very myth club. And I'm sure there are people that believe that. All right, moving on. This has been the Trash Panda Comedy Club. This is I don't know. This is like a routine that's in its nascent stage. Either that or I'm just trying to figure something out. I don't know. But here's Lauren Wesley Ackerman. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking the red and the blue pill at the same time. I feel that way too. I totally feel that way. Let's move on. I've got Petrasek here, Petrassic. I don't know why I can't say his name right. But I've got a little bit here from Petrassic, and I want to share that with you right now. Here we go. This conversation is being recorded. Please hold on to a poster handrail and check the display panel map for your next destination.
And if you want to see my dog, I can always show you her.
I would love to see your dog. Yes.
She's my mental health companion.
We like to have dogs and all kinds of animals on the show. So whenever I have a guest and they have a dog, I welcome the visit.
My mental health.
What's your dog's name?
I mean, Star.
Hey, Star. Come here, Star. Come here. Nice.
I mean, if I have a treat or something, I could get her to do tricks, but maybe another time we can do that. Yeah,
we'll do it another time. We'll do stupid pet tricks, right? But we'll do smart pet tricks.
I have some stuff on YouTube anyway that people can see on that.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to ask you, we were just talking here for a moment, and I wanted to ask you, you say that you have another job besides being a comedian. Could you tell me a little bit about that and how that relates to being a comedian?
Yeah, sure. I do. It's with the school district. It's called LHBH Tutor, Learning Handicap, Physical Handicap Specialist with the school district. So I basically help students who need extra help and who are a little behind. Like sometimes I will do anything from going to a special ed classroom to going to like RSP where they're kind of small groups and they need a little extra help and stuff.
Wow, that's cool. Do you think that because you're a comedian and because you're just a funny guy that does impressions, that it's actually helps you in your therapy or your teaching?
Well, it's funny with the students. I'm always doing like, sometimes I'll go, okay, today we're gonna read with SpongeBob, you know. But
yeah, I
mean, I can't get too carried away with it. But
yeah,
first people see me, I'm this really serious kind of, like you say, you're reserved. You know, a lot of comedians are. But once you get to know me, I mean, it totally comes out. I mean, I'm just totally 90% of the time I'm that person. But
it's really fun.
And especially with working with kids, you know, whether they're special needs or it's in a general ed setting, they're all the same, really. They all want to laugh. They all want to be comfortable. They all have their, you know, insecurities. But that's why I love working with them. That's why I really, and I want to go for my master's. I want to do, you know, like school. I want to get into counseling stuff because I'm into mental health. Comedy. That's why comedy is.
Comedy's good for you, right? I think so.
Well, and that's why I love, you know, it all kind of goes hand in hand. The mental health, you know, me helping students, school count. That's why I want to get into counseling. You know, it's like, it's all mental health because, you know, I'm a pretty happy guy, but as comedians, we get in our own head, and
Boy, I know. It's amazing how many comedians are actually depressed, which I'm always amazed at, because our job is basically to make people laugh and have a fun time. And so why do a lot of comedians end up turning the negative stuff on themselves?
Well, generally, I wouldn't say I'm even so much depressed. I'm a little bit of I'm what they call anxious, and I know that's why. And I joke, I say, yeah, I'm 38, not married, because I say, yeah, I already have voices in my head. Maybe I won't want another voice in my head. But I joke.
Enough people in there. Yeah.
I'll say to the women, it's not that I'm being against you. It's just I'm crazy to deal with. I'm really a happy person, but in some circumstances,
yeah,
I'm kind of better on my own,
Of course. I understand that. I mean, a lot of times in relationships, I've been in a relationship. My wife and I have been married for over 10 years, but we've been together since 2000. But a lot of times when we work on the relationship, the first thing to work on is ourselves individually. Make yourself happy, figure out what it is in your life that you might not be missing that maybe you're taking out on the other person.
Well, see, that's my whole thing. It's like I'm a very happy person, but I get very anxious sometimes, and I kind of find at times I'm kind of, I don't know, comedians, whatever. We all get in our people in general. We all get in our own head a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim. My name's Brian Petrassic. Okay, Brian. It's not Brian Petrassic. It's Petrassic. Like I'm sick in the head. Because I'm ADD. I'm ADHD. I'm ACDC, Dirty Deeds, and the Thunder Chief. I'm ODD. I'm down with OPP. I'm an OG. I'm manic depressive. Oh, plus I talk to myself and answer my own questions. That way I get the answers I want. People ask me if I'm mentally unstable. Yeah, thank you. They ask me if I'm mentally unstable. I say, I don't know. Ask them again later.
I was actually doing comedy. You know what that was?
Where?
I was actually at a halfway house.
Wow. They were loving it. I'm like, this must be like all of his relatives or something. And so they're having a great time. They were just having a great time.
They were just eating it up. They love the energy. But
don't you love that feeling when they're just laughing like that? I mean, it's so good to be able to give people that,
A lot of people, my kind of comedy, you have to like kind of like the high energy. I don't think it's pretty intelligent what I do. It's a little quirky, but
one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on the show from seeing that was your energy is so good.
Yeah, I'm a very charismatic energy person. Yeah. And if you have to be, for me, it's like, sometimes I have to remind myself to preheat the oven before I go into all the crazy stuff. And it's like, but you can imagine me in bed. I'd be crazy, right, women?
Oh man, I'm imagining it right now, dude. I've been imagining it for some time. All right. Well, it's great seeing you, Brian. All right. Thanks again.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man.
This was.
All right, that's Brian Petrassic. I don't know. It's been a pretty interesting show. One of the things I noticed in his routine is that he said dirty deeds. He was doing that AC/DC thing. It's like dirty deeds. And the Dunder Chief. I think that he said the Dunder Chief. And when I was, first heard that song for many, many years, I thought it was Dirty Deeds and the Dunder Chief. And I was like, who is the Dunder Chief? I pictured some Native American, and Dunder sounds like thunder. He was like the Thunder Chief. But apparently it's Dunder Cheap, which isn't as interesting, I don't think. Anyway, thanks for everybody for being here today. This is supposed to be like a mental break from all the craziness that's going on, but there was a lot of discussion of insanity, which perhaps gives us... Matt, me too. He thought it was Dunder. I always thought I was stupid for thinking that it was Dunder Chief, but I think it just sounds like Dunder Chief. And nobody knows like Dirty Deeds done dirt cheap. We didn't know what they were talking about. Like, we're supposed to pay him? I totally thought it was the Dunder Chief. Yeah, so I think Brian does too, and I think I gotta clear that up with him. I'm gonna have to call him, or maybe I'll put it on my Instagram. Anyway, so here's just a fun song. It's a cover, and these people are great. They were on last week or earlier this week. I can't tell which ends up now. But this is a John Prine song, In Spite of Ourselves. I just love this song. John Prine and Iris DeMent sing it. It's just a fun couple song.
She don't like her eggs all runny. She thinks crossing her legs is funny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, now I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
He ain't got laid in a month of Sundays. Caught him once and he was sniffing
That's how I picture living in Memphis.
Ain't too sharp, but he gets things done. Drinks his beer like a
around.
He's my baby,
Didn't be able to go
I'm
look at
his
hummingbirds.
honey. Never
They're not
gonna
real
let
anyway.
him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're
Yeah, this is Corby Lanker. Go to his YouTube channel because he was gracious enough to let us play this.
Our noses right off of our faces.
Very talented fellow.
There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
She thinks all my jokes are corny. Convict movies make her horny. She likes ketchup on her scrambled eggs. She swears like a sailor when she shaves her
lost old
legs.
John Prine
She
to the
takes a
COVID.
licking, keeps on ticking. I'm never gonna let her go.
He's got more balls than a big brass monkey. Whacked out weirdo and a love bug junkie. Sly as a fox, crazy as a loon. Payday comes, he's howling at the moon. He's my baby, I don't mean maybe. Never gonna let him go. In spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the big door prize. We gonna spy our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our
See y'all
eyes.
next week on Lunch
In
Therapy.
spite of ourselves, we'll end up sitting on a rainbow. Against all odds, honey, we're the
On Monday we're
big
gonna have an
door
Elvis impersonator.
prize. We gonna spy our noses right off of our faces. There won't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
See y'all later.